Howdy folks, just getting the snowblower ready for summer storage. Have done the usual stuff, pulled the gas from the fuel tank, ran the engine to run the carburetor dry, changed the oil, pulled out the spark plug, inspected it, put a few squirts of oil into the cylinder, topped up the tire pressure, lubed the pivot points, inspected and adjusted the skid plates. So we've got about an 1/8 of an inch clearance on the scraper bar to the ground, inspected the scraper bar, you know, the usual stuff before you put a snowblower away for the season. And I also pulled the inspection cover off to take a peek at the belts, just make sure nothing looked goofy in there. And I thought, ooh, this is a great time to do a follow-up to a video I had done on this machine, about a year back, where I had lost first gear. I'll link to it in the little card doodad up in the top or in the description here. And I just showed how that drive plate works, how the drive wheel, how it moves on the plate, how you get your different speeds. But in passing, in that video, I had mentioned that one pain in the butt with this particular snowblower is you have to separate the front auger section from the drive section to change the auger drive belt, which is the front one here. And a few people had commented saying, nope, you don't have to do that. You can get at it from the bottom access plate underneath the machine. Now, I didn't come up with that out of thin air, having to separate the halves. I had read that in the manual. It says right here, belt replacement requires separation of the snow thrower. And they even, show a diagram of what you have to do. And this is a real heavy bugger to separate. It's not that easy. So yeah, if you can get to it from the bottom plate, that'd be awesome. And now that I've looked at it, there just might be enough clearance. So I thought we would pull the bottom plate off and see if we can get this belt off. The way to pull the bottom plate off is you have to pivot the machine up 90 degrees so it rests on the front of the, the auger housing. I'm probably going to put some cardboard down on the floor there just so I don't scratch up the paint. Actually, we'll look at the belt here because I've got to pull the belt off of the pulley here, the motor pulley. We have to do a couple of things. So here's the pulley off of the motor, and the front one is the auger pulley. And see, as you pull the auger paddle down, or engagement paddle, it just tensions the belt on this tensioning pulley. So to get this off, you basically have to slacken off the tension on the tensioning pulley, and you just pull this little spring on this side off, and then coming over from the other side, you just have to get the cable, tension cable out. So we can move that right out of the way. And then we can get our belt off. And there's this plate here. There's just enough room to pull it out. And it's probably a good thing we're doing this because I can see the belt is starting to fray a bit. It's coming apart. So now that we've got that off the pulley, let's turn the machine upright, pull the plate off, and see if we can get it out from underneath. Here you can see the drive plate, and there's the speed selection wheel, and depending on where that wheel sits on the plate will dictate your drive speed. And as that turns, it turns the shaft, which turns 2 little gears on the end of the shaft, and these bigger gears which turn your wheels. Now while I was in here, it's a good thing I actually took this off. This has got steering, and basically all it does is it allows one wheel to freewheel when you hold the little steering toggle down. Here we're holding the right one down. You can see that this is just freewheeling now. If I let go, it catches one of the clogs, and then it drives again off that main drive shaft. The other side, however, it works, but I noticed it's really loosey-goosey. This one is sprung. And sure enough, the spring that holds this lever down on the clog had come off. So it's a good thing we had that off. So we can fix that up. I don't know if something broke in there. It doesn't look like it. It just looks like it popped off. Weird. So if you lost the spring tension on one of your steering paddles, perhaps the spring just fell off, or maybe it broke. Something to check. Under the machine now. So here's the belt for the auger pulley. So auger pulley is, get that out of the way. So there's the auger pulley, and this is the drive plate for the wheels. Now the issue here is there enough room between the drive plate, that little nut, and the auger plate pulley nut to get this belt through. As you can see, there's not much room, but what you could do is hold down the drive plate pulley to pull it up, and it'll give you just a little bit more room if you can't get it out, and then it should just pull right out, which it does. So that's awesome. So you don't have to separate the halves, at least on this one. And looks like the belt, it's starting to separate that covering. I don't know if it's Kevlar, but it's starting to separate from the rubber. So probably a good time to replace this before next winter. So we'll order one up in the off season and have a new belt here for next fall. Don't know what the number is? Sure, we can find it. Cheers, folks. Have a good one.